Well, time for some tractor work. Boy, look at that. Someone knows how to cut a tree down. Nice stump. Nice stump. I have, I don't know, 12, 15 in here somewhere. I got to pull out. I got to find them first, and I got to pull them out second. Another one there, another one over there. Bunch up on the hillside, a couple over there. And I'm not sure how many I'm going to take down on this job. I had planned on 10, and then somewhere past 12 I quit cutting. Part of what it is, and somebody mentioned that on one of the comments too, by the way, is I got to get these over mature maples before they get center rot, because then they have no value and then they turn dangerous. So going through and felling the tapped trees, big or small, is what I need to do. Like that one right there was tapped. Even though it's small, I'll probably take it. The ones I'm going to leave are ones that had come up from my last logging stint out here, where I had left untapped or let them grow from scratch. You can tell when you cut them by how far apart the rings are, whether or not they're an old tree or not, you know. Well, saw's not letting you tell on that one, but that's an old tree. So I don't know what to say on skidding. There's a lot of stuff that you just do, and I really haven't thought about it. Certainly not going to do a how-to, because it's not exactly rocket science. The only thing I can say about skidding is, yeah, it's something where there's a lot of risk, and there's a lot of big heavy things, and a lot of force. So I would say the first thing to do is make sure you think about what's going to happen and be out of the way of potential hazards. For example, don't ever get in line with the cable should it ever snap, right? Don't get on the side of the tree where it's going to be moving that way, because it could take another tree and pull it over on top of you. Just common sense stuff like that. And try to set a situation up where when it pulls, it doesn't pull into the stump, but it'll pull around the stump. And one of the reasons why the face cuts actually matter is sometimes the face cut is what the log has to slide up and over in order to pass the stump, you know, depending on the situation. Just, you know, stuff like that. I have literally hundreds of tops that over the next year or so I'm going to be pulling up out of these woods, and so we'll have plenty of time to do that. Here's not such a good stump. One of the things I had done in the prior couple of videos, I don't know if people picked up on it, was I wanted to show as many goofy cut situations as possible. And I was trying the idea of high-low on one of the videos, and I got it on this one. It'll show up in the video, where I wanted to show the difference between a level or low backwood versus, you know, high wood where it pulls. So I made a couple of cuts like this. This was kind of exaggerated, but boy did it demonstrate what I was looking to demonstrate, where the higher backwood tends to make it break down versus the low backwood where it breaks up into the tree. Now this is a junk log, so I didn't care, you know what I'm saying? The ones where I wasn't going to get good money are the ones I did those kind of cuts on, with the exception of one, which you guys might wonder why I did it. I had a really nice hickory up in there, and I had done, I believe it was the one I did a 45-degree conventional cut to see if I can get it to pull. It did, not as bad as I thought it would, but it did. But the reason why hickory was one I saw as sacrificial is, and this is actually an important point, when I was selling hickory, even really good hickory, I was only getting $600 for 1,000 board foot. And that's not good money for me. You know, it's better than a sharp stick in the eye, but even the lower quality maple was getting that much, and the higher quality maple was getting over $1 a foot, and some of them, you know, the prime pluses were getting almost $2 a foot. So when I have a tree where I can show a big tree and show cut conditions, and where I know I'm going to lose some of the stump, instead of picking on a very high value tree like a veneer maple or a veneer oak or something like that, I'm going to pick a tapped tree like this one right here, like I did here, or something lower in value like a pine, which is actually no value. I can't even get 200, 1,000 out of pine. Just no value in that. But hickory and some of the lower quality woods, it's not they're low quality, they just don't bring a lot of money. So I want to make that point. Let me just pull this up and out, see if it'll pull. I gotta change hands here. See how it slid right by that? Now I can tie onto that log. Oh yeah, that's the other thing, is I always leave a tail as long as I can, where basically I put the hitch as close to the hook as I can, and then I've got a little bit of chain that I can hook over the skidder winch. But then I can lift it back up again to unhook it with the winch when I get up on the landing, like this. Just in case. The other thing is, when you do multiple hooks like that, make sure it comes to a point. If I go straight back and straight back, now I have a square where it won't let the log turn. Where if I do to a single point like that, that log can rotate quite easily and not stress the trains. And that's common sense, right? You know, and you got to take them just one at a time. Every log is a project. You can see the ones we're getting into now. We got this one right here, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? A few more that way. And we got a few more trees to take down too. Take a look at that one right there. You see that one? If you look at the base of it, you'll see that ingrown bark. That's an over mature tree, so it needs to come down. So I've got more to cut out of here, I guess, more than I planned. I didn't want to cut as hard, but you know, if you look at the differential between the big trees and the small trees, you can see exactly what happens if you don't maintain your property properly, where all you have is volunteers. You know, the big trees shade everything out. Now, I like to leave some of the tall trees because that'll tend to make the short trees grow tall as well. So I don't want to take them all out. That's why I've been leaving some in, you know, to sort of get a long, tall saw log. You need to leave some of those tall ones so the new ones coming in have to reach up to get to the canopy. But this one here is going to be a bit of a problem. I'm not even sure it's worth pulling that section out right there. You see how twisted that is? I don't think I'm going to get any money out of that. So I'll see how hard it is, but if it starts pulling hard, I might just cut it right there. You know, there's a lot of saw log in here, but right to hit this point right here, from that point on, it's just, I don't think there's anything in it. You know? Now this one obviously presents a problem because it's going to want to sweep down a bunch of these small trees, and there's a possibility that it gets locked in between those two big trees as I go out that way. Oh, look at that stump. Isn't that nice? Breaks down versus up. That's a nice cut right there. But Yet again, I've got it as close to the hook as I can, the hitch. What I'm going to do is I'm going to release the cable and drive out some before I actually pull this log in, so when these trees get pulled over, they don't get pulled over into the cab. So I backed the tractor right to there and I lifted the log up and over. And the other thing is, if I hook to that side, it's going to pull the tractor that way, right? So when I'm going up around the corner there, I don't have to step on the brake as much as it tries to come down the hill. Now the biggest problem I have now is getting this long log out that road around those corners without hooking into these other trees. So we'll see how it plays. It might hook into that one right there, for example. But this is the life of skidding, you know, you got to figure all that crap out. Look at that one. That's not bad either. It pulled up and down, but if you look at that hinge, you can see why. It's kind of a shallow hinge, and it went from compression to tension as it closed, and that's why it pulled up, right? That other series of videos I did was all about just cutting all kind of different conditions and getting it on video so you can see in fact what happens. Yeah, see, I think I can get all 5 of these right from here, and then I have to kind of work my way up the side there to get some more. And the first couple of logs you can probably see over there, I don't know, 200-300 yards where the trees are down. There's a few over there I have to pick out of the woods too. But you can also see why cutting the stumps as low as you can begins to pay off, because they're either going to hang the logs, you know, or they're going to hang the tractor. Take your pick. The tall stumps that I had cut years back, like that one, I had to cut it down in order to pull a log. But that one's going to be a very, very, very nice tree. I see 1, 2 saw logs for sure, and the face cut, it was far enough away, it's not in the heartwood. But anyway, let's see what this thing does. Making the tractor work. Yeah, that little tree's gone. Let's see if keep it from hitting the tractor. Nope, gonna have to cut it with a saw. Or just put it on the other side of the tree for now. When I pull the saw out to take care of that, then I'll take care of some of these in here too. So, yeah, these are easy pulls. These are easy problems to solve, you know. I might grab all that at some point, bring it up. See if we can get it out of here. So I've got a dilemma. You know, if you look at the way this log is, it goes up, and you see that one tree it's up next to, and it's right at the end of that log, which has his butt right on the stump, right? So if I try pulling this log this way, it's going to come into that log there and push up against the stump. If I go to the end of that log and pull it over, I'm going to clean out all these little trees, and I don't want to do that. So I have a partially good solution where what I want to do, if I can, is pull the end down to here and then pull it straight out. And when I start pulling it out, since this log here is no longer end to end with that one, it'll rotate. Yeah, I got it. I had to use a tractor. The wind didn't have enough ass, so I basically hooked onto it with the tractor and chains. Now I gotta get it out of here. Well, that took me a while. Stuff like that costs time. Time. Well, my day is done. I got stuck on this one log. It took me about an hour and a half to get that one out of there. So I only took out 6 today, skidding this afternoon, in about 5 hours. That really is not a good metric, but it's what happens sometimes. You know, I've said it for a long time. Getting them on the landing is often a whole lot harder than getting them on the ground, you know, felling them. So